Hey up everyone, hope we're all doing well. Francis Ngannou is open to coming back to the UFC. But just before I reveal what's been said, guys, if you want to keep up to date with UFC news, make sure to drop a sub, as I'm always keeping you guys up to date within the UFC. But anyways, let's get straight into it. So here we have it. It was reported by Home and Fight that Francis Ngannou is open for a UFC comeback per Eric Nicksick. And if you don't know, Eric Nicksick is his head coach. And he said, full story coming on Home and Fight, the heavyweight division needs this fight. And straight away, I got a bit fucking excited. I got excited at the potential of this fight, because let's be honest, if you're an MMA fan, you want to see this fight. But before I got super excited, I had to find out whether this was legit. And I went on their thingy, and they did link an interview where they obviously have interviewed Eric Nicksick. And now we're going to go to what's actually been said. It says that Francis Ngannou is open for UFC comeback talks. And obviously, we would all want this. John Jones has just fucked off. So Ngannou Aspinall is pretty much the biggest fight we could get. Will it happen? I don't know. But let's just read what's been said. So he goes, he's training. He looks happy to be back in the gym with the team. He's been asking for that Wilder fight. And if that happens, great. But right now, the heavyweight division is kind of in a shambles. There's no real direction, and that creates an opportunity. And you know what, Eric? You're a smart man, because you're fucking right, mate. The heavyweight division is just kind of stuck in the mud division right now. Nothing's really going on, thanks to that stupid knobhead John Jones. So yes, Ngannou coming back would fucking speed things along quite a lot. According to Nicksick, Ngannou is open to negotiations with the UFC, and it's more about business than bad blood, which is great, because if you were here when Ngannou left the UFC, they left it on bad terms. You know, Ngannou wanted to be able to do other opportunities outside of the UFC, like boxing, which he went on to do so, and Dana White wasn't really, you know, he wasn't really about that. But obviously, he's had like 2 boxing fights now, Fury and AJ. Made a fuckload of money now from that. And then he came back to MMA in the PFL. He goes, I think this is more about business than it is about ego. At least it is from Francis' side. He just wants to be treated like an independent contractor, paid fairly, and given freedom to pursue other opportunities. And he did that. He went out, boxed, made a lot of money, improved himself, which is fucking brilliant. I was a bit scared he meant, you know, he wants to still be an independent contractor, which I'm sure he does. But ultimately, he's made his money, so maybe he's a bit more okay just being with the UFC for a couple of fights because he's made his money. He also says, where does this motivation come from? It's not about the money anymore, it's about the competition, which again is brilliant. And the best competition is in the UFC, and he's absolutely fucking right, because the PFL, yeah, I don't even have to say anything about that. And he goes, as for whether UFC president would be open to burying the hatchet, Nicksick remains optimistic. Dana's a smart businessman. I think he's level-headed enough to say the past is the past. Let's explore the future. Look at the heavyweight division right now. What are we doing? Tom Aspinall's holding an interim belt for nearly 600 days. It's time to get things moving. And guess what? He's not fucking wrong. So let's make Ngannou versus Tom Aspinall. Bring him back. That would be fucking gigantic, because genuinely, when you think about that fight, I think it's maybe not 50-50, but it's not far from there. I would probably favor Tom Aspinall personally, but if you made an argument for Ngannou, I wouldn't really argue against it, because there's also a very solid chance that Ngannou would be able to beat Tom Aspinall, you know what I mean? So this will be a fucking massive fight. We've just missed, the door's just been closed on John Jones and Aspinall, unfortunately, but a new doors came across, because this could be a massive fucking door. And Ngannou and Aspinall, that's probably going to be the biggest fight in all of UFC. 2 behemoths, you know, and Ngannou hasn't lost since the Stipe fight, and well, the Derek Lewis fight in MMA, should I say. Aspinall hasn't lost since the Blades thingy, but no one really classes it as a real loss. So come on, the only thing that would really stop this fight and Ngannou coming back is Dana White. But I think Dana White, you'll maybe let this slide, only because money. TKO own the UFC. I know a bit of a WWE, and TKO are very greedy when it comes to money at the moment of that, and that's why we've seen ticket prices, you know, rise up when it comes to UFC and WWE, because they're after a lot more money. And ultimately, Francis Ngannou, Tom Aspinall, that's a fucking massive fight. And just think, I'm not saying it would happen, but if Ngannou is able to knock out Aspinall, or just beat him in any way, shape, or form, I wouldn't be surprised if the UFC tried to make Ngannou versus Alex Pereira. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I'm not saying I would fully like that. You know, I'd rather see Ngannou just take on actual heavyweights, like maybe a Jolton Almeida, maybe a Cyril Gane rematch, maybe Volkov, you know what I mean? But, or Shamil Gaziev, you know what I mean? But genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised. Alex Pereira's a big name. He's talked about moving up to heavyweight. You know, triple champ maybe against Ngannou. Two big power punches, two of the biggest power punches we've ever seen. That wouldn't surprise me. So this is very good news and exciting news. I'm hoping we get to see it. Obviously, it's very early days, so it's hard to say what really is going to happen. But what do you guys think? Would you be excited for Ngannou to come back? That's a stupid question. Of course you would. Who do you think would win between Ngannou and Aspinall? What fights would you want to see from Ngannou if he were to come back to UFC? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.